Hello YouTube, Damo_23 here and welcome back to another episode of Leicester Reborn. In today's episode, end the season / FA Cup final, Wembley, and it's Blackburn Rovers of all teams that we have in the final. We're definitely going to recap their run and how they've gone in their season because I don't think they've had a particularly great year. In terms of what we're also going to do, because I have already kind of done all my transfer business I've already planned to, and it's not even the window, it's not even June, we kind of just going to go through all of that as well, and then next episode kind of like the start of the season. There is a world where I'll probably sign maybe a centre-back, and I'll talk about that in a second, but without further ado, give it a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and a big shout out to the Matildas. I filmed this just 5 minutes after they won in the World Cup quarterfinal against France in the shootout, so give it a like for the Matildas as well. Let's go and start with Blackburn, who we play today. And they are a team where their best player is a guy on loan called Alex Corrit. He's not the greatest, but what he does have is a massive amount of physicals, and he's got 20 jumping reach at 6'4". So he's going to be pretty handy. 12 and 41, not too bad, not much potential there. Where's he genned out at? Fulham. So I'm surprised they're not actually playing at Fulham. With that being said, that's their best player. Blackburn themselves find themselves 17th in the championship. 14 wins, 12 draws, 20 losses, -9 goal difference. You must be questioning, how do they make it all the way to the FA Cup final? Well, here they go. They beat Wrexham in the 3rd round. They beat Middlesbrough in the 4th round. Coventry in the 5th round. Played Fulham at home and won before getting Bournemouth. They played no real massive team of note. We'll say Bournemouth did obviously make a Champions League this year, and last year made it all the way through to the Champions League quarter-final where they got beat over 2 legs by Villarreal. People wondering how that went in the semi-final, Arsenal knocked out Liverpool 9-4 on aggregate. In the semi-final, Arsenal got through against Bayern, who just got past Villarreal. It will be Bayern Munich that will win the Champions League again for the 3rd time in 4 years, because I don't know how this Arsenal side keeps on finding ways to go deep in Europe but not affect the league. With that being said, let's talk about our boys and what's been going on here. I'm going to start with a man called Velez, obviously, because any excuse to talk about Velez is great. Named Player of the Year, English Player of the Year, top goal scorer with 43 in 36 matches. That is correct. Played a few more games than last year. We went a goal a game. This year scored 10 extra goals in 3 more matches played. I will say he played 3 matches off the bench. This time he played 2. But yeah, he is just a bit incredible. He's got 64 and 54 matches, scoring 10 goals more than the games that he played. And I think he's only going to get better. If anything, though, he has declined here slightly. There's been a couple of stats that have just gone down a touch with regression, something that does happen on FM. We will see that acceleration get back to 15. It doesn't really matter to him, and I expect him to have a field day here as well. In terms of the rest of the boys in the team, they are lining up like this. I have tied Skriniar down to a new deal as well, but that deal is... That deal was a 1-year deal. If he plays 25 games in the final season in the league, where he played 24 this year, then we will offer him a 1 more year contract. Only thing is, at 34, when he's going to be 35, we might see that pace get to 13, acceleration down to 12. He does have some very good natural fitness. I'll make another decision on him. Now, what this means is that looking forward, Linus will definitely be the first choice centre-back because we want him to hit his potential, and I do think he's really good. Tamori is playing currently out of his skin and still looks mentally and physically and technically a monster. It means that those two will probably be the two. Jose Marsha, many times before, I've already mentioned that he's here. And what it means is that we give Moore maybe a year now that he becomes homegrown. I'm pretty sure he's now going to become homegrown here. I think this is what we do, is we now, because he's going to be 3 years here at 15, which is great for the future, is we now loan Moore out next season, and Skriniar is the backup, and then the year after, release Skriniar and have Moore, who, still looks good, but I think he's one really good loan spell away from being fantastic. Now, I also want to talk about the loans quickly in terms of what's been going on here. I have to talk about a few guys. Now, I do sort it by progression. So Fletcher, no. Warren, obviously, had that massively big injury. Major one, where a broken lower leg. He's developed quite well for a guy that broke his leg. I'm probably going to offer him back out to Hoffenheim again. I just don't think he's ready to come back. So I'm going to offer him out to loan again a little bit later on and see what they do. Giuliano, don't need to worry about him. He's going to be selling fodder. Kane Fuller's developed into a player that's not bad. Yet again, he's like Velez. Gets to a point and then regresses. I do really like him. At some point, we're going to have to give him a go. I don't think a lot of these 14s are going to get the 15 now, just because it hasn't happened yet. Has a lot of potential. Could do it. I'm tossing between if we get rid of the guys that we have here and bring him in, or don't use him at all and loan him out again. I don't know. Chris Asby, who's been out on loan, has been looking really good. I think this guy needs some more minutes, but maybe could come back into the squad. You know, he's another leading championship player that's not too bad. Ivan Ramos, the backup keeper, has been developing quite nicely. Definitely going to loan him out. I'm going to try and loan him out maybe to a better level, but he's had a very good year at Rochdale. Thomas Garcia, obviously look at Thomas Garcia. He's up to 3-star. He's fantastic. He had a bit of a major injury with a broken ankle. He was out for a couple of months. This is his first full year playing week in, week out, apart from the injury. I do think he will become world-class, but I do think he's someone that we need to loan out again. I think Valencia is a really good spot. Valencia finished 6th with 1 game to go. They could drop in the 7th, but it means they're going to be in Europe again next year. I really do think we give Garcia 1 more loan, unless a big comes in for someone else, like a son or something, and we bring him back. 1 more loan, really get him to hopefully not have an injury and develop more, and he can come in as well. Then I want to speak about a couple of these other guys, like Johan Milivovic, you guys haven't seen. He's been developed really well. Now, he's someone that I'll definitely loan out again, but keep an eye out on him in the future of this save, because I actually think he could develop into a great player. Jean Cisse came through our own academy last year, and look how good he looks. He looks fantastic. Played in the championship. We'll probably loan him back to Press as long as they didn't get relegated, which I don't think 20th is relegation. It is just outside. I'm going to loan him back there again, and hopefully he goes and plays, because he's played very well since going out on loan. 15 games, 10 starts, 5 off the bench when she went out, and he's developed well. But lucky last Naldino. Now, if you look at Naldino, we signed him. Unfortunately, he joined just before he could become Leicester homegrown, or he was becoming Leicester homegrown, but he wasn't developing at all in the 19s. I've loaned him out, and he has gone for, go ahead Eagles in the Netherlands outrageously well. He has got very good mentals and very good physicals, very good technicals, and they're all about 13s. I think this is a guy that we loan out again, and maybe after 1 more loan, like Stavro, to a really bigger club, pays well. I know he went to Hearts, but Hearts had excellent facilities in this save. I really do think having someone like that out alone again, we could see him impact this save. So what I'm trying to say is there is a lot of footballers that could come into this team, which means I don't really have to do too much business. Now, in terms of business we've already done, I'm going to show you all the business outside of here for the kids, but Jude Bellingham is the main guy, right? Obviously, 60 mil, I can't believe we're getting him for 60 mil. Hopefully this guy leads me now to a Champions League. Segundo Volante, he is going to be so outrageously good here as a Segundo Volante. He's going to come straight in with Manuel Ugarte, with Reyes on the bench, with Thuram and with Lavia. If one of them gets a bid, Lavia or Thuram, one of them gets a bid, we sell. And we just sell and just go, let's recoup as close to 60 million as possible for Jude Bellingham, who's only 25, and he's going to be sensational. Now, outside of that, players that we need to speak about, because I've signed a lot of kids. First, Jean Jim will be the backup right back next year. We don't have to train Ogbu to play right back anymore. Once Ogbu becomes a homegrown, we'll loan him out as well. But yeah, Jean Jim looks outrageously good physically, mentally, and technically not too bad. One of French's best little regions, already playing under 21 football for him. He looks pretty good. I'm going to now just go in order. Ben Allingham could be a potential future right back as well. Like Jean Jim, very well rounded, is English. Found him whilst doing an under 19 scout. And look, I think this is the sort of kid you put in your 21s for 2 years and see him develop, and then in that 3rd year, maybe he's good enough to play some minutes. Definitely think he's someone that I want to keep my eye on as Ben Allingham, but I think out of Jean Jim and him, one of these two will become world-class and a first choice right back down the line, maybe. Now, Peter Dewhurst I signed because there's so many 10s. As you can see here, a lot of 10s. 16 years of age, so you can play under 18s football. Our intake wasn't great. We've got one player who I'm going to show you before we play this game. Very well rounded, good determination. I think he's just a smart option to bring in. Now, you might be thinking, Damien, how much do we get these guys for? 11 mil, 22 mil, 5 mil to 15, and most of that is over 3 years plus 50, playing 50 games, etc. This one here, though, Kenneth Mujika, came through in the next gen as a 17-year-old. He's just turned 18, playing for Mexico 5 times as a left back at 6.6 million, where we can loan Stuart Warren out a few times for him to become homegrown. Kenneth is going to come in. He's going to turn 18. He's going to come in at the next round because he's just turned 18. And he's going to sit in the first team. He's going to play the occasional minutes behind Luke Thomas. And if a big comes in for Luke Thomas, we swell because this kid is a different level of gravy. Mentally outrageous, physically well-rounded, technically got tackling ability, marking, and can cross as a fullback, which is outrageous as well. And he's already got 7-15 plus at 18 and a fresh 18-year-old who's, had his birthday not long ago. Actually, is that today? Yes, it is today. There you go. 6.5 mil. Edson Martinez, we obviously signed for 4.5 to 7 mil, where we signed him for his release fee. Yet again, I just think this guy could become a very good Segundo Volante, so we decided to bring him in. When he turns 18, he plays some under 21 minutes, teaching him to play DM, and then depending on his development, we'll either loan him, we'll cash in on him. Sometimes these players come in for profit. This one here, definitely for profit, is Akron Buachum. Now, for those that don't know, this Barami side, every one of my saves produced one world-class Thailandese regen. And look, the Thai man is outrageously good for what he does. Technique, vision, passing, first touch, 5-star potential, got a work permit. Huge. I really think he could be fantastic, and because he's from Thailand, I really want to give him a minute because he's of an obscure nation. So yeah, I'm going to give him some game time. And lucky last, Scott Walden was Manchester United's best prospect out of their intake, and the main reason I picked him up is he's just an out-and-out winger, which could really help the under-21s. 19 determination, well-rounded physicals. He's someone like Silva, where his physicals could be that well class that he could do really, really well. Now, last thing I want to do here as well is have a chat about Silva. We obviously sold him for big money. How's he gone this season? Well, he has gone and only got 2 goals, 3 starts, 6 off the bench, but I'm hoping that PSG will eventually integrate him long term, because that would be nice. But he's playing games, and Stavro, who he sold to Manchester United, played 11 games, 7 off the bench, played pretty well to be fair, but not really starting for them, and we got 55 mil. So we've done some really good transfer business, I really do feel. Lucky the last thing to do now is let's get into looking at the region that we picked up. And out of our intake this year, we got Sean Rhodes, who can play across the free and up front. Well-rounded, 16 years of age. He's just going to play 18s until there's a moment where a big loan comes in. Light C, so he played 18s, dominated, and really developed. I expect Sean Rhodes to go like ballistic, dominate the 18s, get really, really well-rounded, and thus become a very, very good footballer. Really do feel he could be quite sensational. Now, with that being said, let's get into the final here. And the final is going to be Melier, Carter, Skriniar, Tomori, Livramento, Reyes and Manuel Ugarte with Elise, Smith Rowe, Hassan, and Velez. A traditional bench from us as well. Alex Scott, someone I want to speak about because he's playing at a 4-star level, is wanted, though, at the moment by a couple of English clubs. I think this is the team we're going to line up. Elise is wanted by Chelsea and Real Madrid. I'm not interested in selling. Hassan's wanted by Man United if it was a massive bid. Reyes is wanted by Man United. Would not sell to Man United. Not Reyes, who's looking this good. And I know the game hates him as a Segundo Volante. I really think he's really, really class in there. Because if you look at the stats, as a Segundo Volante, on attack or support, he is this good. Alright, let's get into it. Because that's 12 minutes, 13 minutes of me discussing the future, where I don't think outside of Bellingham for the first team and all these kids where I'm really making a change or a signing. Let's go play Blackburn at Wembley. They're in the championship. They finished 18th. This could be an absolute pumping. Velez could get some goals today, but let's go and have a look. Kaminski in net. Cuffy. Heim is pretty slow. Harry Pickering. I've used him on FM for Crew. Lewis, Jake Garner, Diogo Valles, Ben Wiles. Big moment. I would love to see a championship club make it to the FA Cup final in real life because we all would love it. Mainly happy that Skriniar puts pen to paper there. Here we go. Should be a dominating game, but you never know. That we could lose. I am going to get stuck in off as well. I think just because we're going to dominate so much, I don't think that needs to really be on today. But let's go in there and see what happens. Game is not played on paper. It's played in FM with a match engine that does sometimes decide that it wants a close game. And, well, blue plays blue. Interesting. But Garnett picks off by Hassan. It's a good ball out there to Elise. And, well, this is where we're pretty dangerous on the break. Vella's made a movement. Ignored. Now it tries to find him. Not a great ball. Velez has got the captaincy today. I think next year he will be granted as captain as well. But Dolan now, with a ball, driving. We'll head that away, Skriniar, find Smith Rowe. First goal is critical here, especially for Blackburn, because then they could set up shop and really defend. Again, Smith Rowe flicks, Manuel Ugrate. Velez came at feet and then stopped. Elise wants the ball and gets it. Here we go. Can we find an option in the box? Elise. Ball back a line. Miss. Reyes. Well, Velez has tapped it in and he's onside. We lead 1-0 in the FA Cup final. Of course, Velez has scored another one. It's something that he loves to do. Outside of the Champions League, this has been our best year, which means our year's been not great because the Champions League's what we were focusing on. But, out of the terms of the football and what we've played and players coming to the fore, it's been really good. Reyes with the assist and we lead 1-0 and the flood doors could open now for Blackburn. Smith Rowe, inside of Smith Rowe. Hassan, that's 2-0. We hang it up there, 16th for the year, 6'4", and that's the beauty of this front four. Smith Rowe's quite creative. Obviously, we don't mind Elise 6 foot, but Velez or Hassan, because they're so dominant in the air, just so good of this moment here. Like if it's Velez floating back stick or near stick, he'll win that header, and Hassan will win his fair share too. It's very nice to have, and that's why I'm very happy with the squad. Here in the at Wembley, our first 2 shots on target have gone in. Always nice when that happens. I will never complain. Kaminsky, picked off by Velez. Gerzino, Kaminsky. Goes long. Tamori will head it back to Meslier. Was tempted to start Preston, not going to lie, but don't want to make Meslier upset. I really do wish I accepted the 50 mil. Don't know why Northern Cuffy's highlighted. Anyway, Elise looks for Velez. Won't find him with that ball where he didn't put enough. We'll keep it though with Reyes, who generally dictates the game very well from back of line. Good ball to Smith Rowe. And a good save for Kaminsky, the journeyman goalkeeper, at the near stick. We could have cut that one to Velez, who really wanted to be very, very sweaty in the FIFA term. But yeah, anyway, ball in. Velez doesn't win. And that should be the highlight here. And here we go. Livramento. Sounds like someone scored in the other quarter-final in the women's game. Might be England, might not be. Reyes fouled him outside the box for sure. Anyway, let's continue on. Well, there you go. From the set piece, Blackburn score, Alex Colquette, which I think is the big man with the 20 jumping reach. 33 minutes, 2-1. We lose our clean sheet. Final not over. Blackburn get a set piece and score. Meslier just fell to the floor. Not that I think he would have saved it. Would have been nice to see a better thing. Velez was shoved though by Colquette. He scored down one and he shoved Velez in the back here. I think VAR will be saying that's a penalty as well. Penalty given. Andrew Shepherd says that it's a pen and Velez will have a chance after being shoved at the near stick to make it 3-1 and score a brace here in the final. Velez versus Kaminsky. And Kaminsky got fingers to it, but it's gone in. It's 3-1. 66th goal of the year for Velez. And he's had a pretty good year, I'm not going to lie. Pretty happy with that. Boys are having a decent game out there. At least they not, but in terms of the front three, Skriniar's not having the best of game and on a booking as well. I'm going to get aggressive out here and do this. Because Skriniar's not having the best of game on a booking, I'm going to get Linus on early. I think that makes very much a lot of sense. Because we are leading 3-1, I can get Reyes to sit a bit deeper and just dictate the game instead of driving forward too much. I don't want to get caught on the break with Reyes, getting too far forward now that we're 3-1 up and lead by 2 goals. Highlight from kickoff. If you haven't enjoyed the episode, give it a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and let me know if you think we can win the Champions League next year. Reyes, Manuel Ugrate, Linus, Reyes, Linus, Manuel Ugrate, Hassan, good ball to Livramento. Can he cut it? Oh, he's going to go for goal, isn't he? And he cuts in, he's right-footed, and he goes with his non-preferred left foot. If you've got to use your left foot there, you've got to cut it across goal. Very, 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 very odd. Another ball here for Elise to whip. Linus, And through Kaminsky in, Linus off the bench scores. He is very good in the air. I will say Skriniar is too. But Linus has scored a few goals from corners this year. 4-1 up. This is going to be a FA Cup final that we get to enjoy a little bit more. Unlike, previous few where it's been a bit more tight. We've lost a couple of Champions League finals. This is a final where we've dominated, which we only did when we beat Liverpool in their first FA Cup final in season 4. Or 3. Anyway, Elise cuts it. Reyes, Pickering, after Blackburn won it. Collett presents. Manuel Ugarte does well. Collett flies in. I think he's glad he didn't make contact. Manuel Ugarte, Livramento, Hassan, playing it around well. Livramento. No good there. Wiles. Reyes, Carter, ball in here. No. Elise dropped in, which is actually quite nice. Good ball to Livramento. Beats his man. Options inside. Smith Rowe. Good save out Kaminsky to keep it at 4-1. Because this game has been so one-sided, I am going to make a couple of changes. Lynch has been developing quite nicely. Ogbu will come in for Manuel Ugarte and get him in as a defensive midfielder on support. And we're going to get a son off for Yaya here. A few of the youngsters to make sure that they are happy. Wiles, Doolin, good ball. Should have been a goal, should have been 4-2. Played okay though. Pretty happy with today. And not long left to go. I'm actually going to move Ogbu out to right back because he has been training that role, and I am going to get Carter off for Tarum, who will lift the trophy in what could be his final game. I'm not too sure what's going to happen transfer-wise moving forward. But look, we've done well. We've got a good kid for our regen. We've signed a handful of really good wonder kids from the under-19s and from next gen, and we got Jude Bellingham coming in. We are champions yet again of the Premier League. We're champions of the FA Cup yet again. And we're champions of the League Cup, and we're champions of the Community Shield. We do the English quadruple again for the second year in a row, but that Champions League title is not within our grasp just of yet. It's another trophy. It's another win. There we are. Velez, because he was captain for the start, will lift the trophy. Look how tall he is compared to everybody else. Go on, Velez. A man with 66 goals, 67 goals this season in all competitions gets to lift the trophy. We win the FA Cup. I'm happy for your success. Well done, boys. It's been good. Look at them all celebrate. I absolutely love it. And look, I thought we played very, very well. It means that we lost, actually. We lost in the semi-final last year. We did a treble last year. This year we do the quad. We won the Community Shield, which I know means nothing. Won it in a shootout as well. We won the Cabarro Cup, wherever that is. And we won the Premier League and we won the FA Cup. I'm pretty happy with that. With that all being said and ready to be done and dusted, give it a like, do subscribe to the YouTube channel, and with that as well, I'll see you guys for the next episode where we will just recap any sort of transfer business that does go down. I'm not planning on anything, and obviously the start of the season, and with that too, obviously what the Champions League will look like for the league phase as well. Till next time, thank you and goodbye.